the resistance.
What's up, everyone? This is the Tin Man with the Worldwide Resistance Network. If you are watching this, you are the resistance. And welcome to Tin Man TV. Yes, everyone, this is Tin Man TV. I, of course, am Chris Sheldon, the Tin Man, your white rabbit, taking you down the damn rabbit hole. And I forgot the damn mask. How about that? There we go. Your white rabbit, taking you down the damn rabbit hole once again. And as always, this is the Worldwide Resistance Network. This is Tin Man TV. I, again, am your host, Christopher Sheldon, the Tin Man. And this, of course, is the infamous Meth Monster Blue, the fictitious product that doesn't actually exist because we are not sponsored by anybody. We are of the people, by the people, for the people. So if you like this broadcast, share the live feeds. Follow us on our various social medias, X, YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook, all at REALTWWRN. And check out our online store, REALTWWRN.printify.me. Tons of great merchandise and deals, with more and more products coming as we go along. And as always, feel free to engage in the conversation. Comments are enabled, and this is one of the only, if not the only, political podcast network that includes you in the conversation. Most people will put out a hotline number and take a handful of calls. Nope. We open up the comment section and say, hey, let's have a fucking free-for-all. Because, again, we are of the people, by the people, for the people. But speaking of Meth Monster Blue, I think there's quite a few people on meth. Is that? I really know how to push some people's buttons. And that is the premise of tonight's special broadcast, because I push some buttons. Check this shit out. This is going to be the biggest clusterfuck that I've gotten to enjoy in quite a long time. I made a comment earlier this evening on NASA's website asking, why do we orbit twice and then slingshot around the moon? Why aren't we landing on the moon? Why are we spending all these billions of dollars, especially during hard economic times, just to do essentially just testing the waters and product testing new equipment that could easily be tested here on Earth without having spent billions of dollars to send a projectile into space? And boy, howdy, for as many likes as we've gotten roughly like close to 80 likes, give or take, on the comment itself. But boy, howdy, did it incur a shit ton of backlash. This goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And it's still going. I mean, this was hours ago, and it's still going. Like I said, I think I pissed a lot of people off. And it kind of tickles me. I'm not going to lie. Because one thing people clearly don't understand about the Worldwide Resistance Network, regardless of how long we've been around or how long I haven't been active or have been active, I'm the guy that is put out there to be attacked. I'm the guy who goes out there and pushes people's buttons. The white goddamn rabbit, taking you down the rabbit hole, making with everything I think, say, and do that threatens your perceptions of reality and makes you question everything you think you fucking know. And the fact that I am getting this much heat over a simple comment clearly shows that words definitely retain their power and that people are threatened by what I have to say, clearly. And if they want to talk shit and point out grammatical errors or this, that, or whatever, I don't care. It's neither here nor there for me. But I'll always take things as an opportunity. I will never pass up the opportunity to shatter people's perceptions of reality and make them question everything they know. Why? Because we need to question everything. We need to look at everything and question, even if we agree with it and go, okay, why is this happening? Why couldn't it be done better? What about doing this? What about doing that? Okay, if we are not willing to question everything and push for improvement in others and in ourselves, then we are dead as a species. So yeah, I will take every opportunity to light a fire under somebody's ass and light a match under somebody's balls. Why? Because I'm that guy. Okay, I'm the guy that was put out there to be attacked. I'm the guy who will say the difficult things and provoke people. That's what I do. That's why they call me the Tin Man, because I am a cold, heartless son of a bitch. And being as hard as I am, I can take the fucking hits. I can take it. And I can dish it. And I guarantee you, if I dare to cut loose, I can make you even question whether or not you even fucking exist. Don't play with me. I have too much fun with this shit. And I, again, will take every fucking opportunity that is given to me to trigger critical thinking. Because what is the point of going down the rabbit hole if it doesn't challenge your perceptions of reality? After all, that's what Alice in Wonderland was, correct? The idea that up might be down and that reality itself might not be what we think. And what we think we know, we might not know. So yeah, here we are. Again, in an ocean of comments that they just keep coming. It never stops. And they want to, people want to talk shit. You're retarded. Okay, really? Okay, who's the bigger fool? The fool or the fool who follows him down the rabbit hole? Okay. Who was the bigger fool? The white rabbit? Or the dumb little girl that followed her? Y'all took my bait. Y'all took my bait. And you call me the fool. You call me retarded. Perception is not always reality, my friends. And I do not know why my feed is off. Okay, so, yep, there that is. Okay. Sorry, just making sure some technicals are copacetic. But getting into the meat and potatoes of what I dared to say. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the comment. Just going to show you. Just going to say it. Why orbit twice around the Earth, then go to the moon just to go around it? Seems like a big waste to me. I mean, if you're going to the moon, then go to the moon. Land on it. Do something. Then come home having actually accomplished something rather than waste billions in American taxpayer dollars to prove we can do what we did, 57 years ago? In a desperate bid to remain relevant and a practical use of taxpayer money. Seriously, if this is all we're doing, who do we need to talk to about getting a refund? That was the comment that sparked so much controversy. Apparently, I am as evil as Donald Trump right now. I love it. I can't say that I am wholeheartedly opposed to the reaction that I am getting. Because, again, we need to think. And I posted the link to this video as it's live to the comments section. Just right under the comment that I had initially left. And I encourage anybody in the comment section to actually come on here and talk to me about it. Share the thoughts and opinions. Comment section is open. So let's look at this. Is this a waste of taxpayer money? And is this just an attempt to save face with the general population after Elon Musk rescued those astronauts last year? Okay, let's look at that. All right, NASA has pretty much come out and said that they lost the technology needed to go to the moon. How does a government agency that has existed since the 1960s lose the technology? A government agency that takes in billions and spends billions per year. How does an agency like that lose the technology and the blueprints for the greatest scientific achievement, arguably, in human history? How does that happen? How do you lose that technology? That not only is the cornerstone of your business, but is arguably the technology that achieved the greatest scientific feat of all time. You gonna tell me you lost that technology? No. Okay, y'all got some shit on your upper lip here. Like, seriously, y'all smell shit? I smell shit! Seriously, you don't just lose the cornerstone of your fucking business and the greatest scientific achievement of all time. It doesn't fucking happen. Okay? No. And that was the argument of why NASA couldn't go and rescue those stranded astronauts on that space station, and why Elon Musk had to go in there, slap together a rocket, send up a team to bring these people back, or so we're told. Okay, went up there with a rocket full of people to rescue the stranded astronauts. Came back down on the same goddamn rocket and connected with some robotic arm that landed the rocket that shot into fucking space. And slapped it, and he did it in a matter of weeks. But yet it's going to take 2 years, plus all the prep that they've already done to do the research and R&D and prep to go to the moon, to go back to the moon. Okay, we're not even going to Mars yet. Okay, we're just setting up to go and to the moon and build a base on the dark side of the moon so that we can launch another rocket from the dark side of the moon to Mars. And that's not even going to happen until 2028. Okay? That's a huge embarrassment compared to what Elon Musk did. And Elon Musk, like him or hate him, fucking embarrassed the fuck out of NASA. So is this an attempt to save face in light of major embarrassment? I mean, you have that. You have the question of the validity of the moon landing, the subsequent footage from that. I mean, for Christ's sakes, 1969 moon landing. We're transmitting a live signal from the moon to your television using technology that is the equivalent to a 1980s Nintendo. Yet in 2026, I can't get cell phone reception in the goddamn boonies. You're going to tell me that with 1960s technology and a video camera the size and double the weight of a microwave, you transmitted a live television broadcast from the moon to every American's television and every person around the world in real time? Yet, I get spotty cell phone reception in certain areas? Come on. Come on. Don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. Okay? Now, people want to get into fixes. Oh, well, they got to circle around the Earth twice to gain the momentum and slingshot. Okay? So I'm an idiot when it comes to physics. Okay? Gravity. Yeah, you know, gravity. The thing that pulls stuff to the ground, right? All right, that keeps us from flying off into space. Yeah, that thing. Okay, you are going to argue that the thing that pulls stuff to the ground is going to slingshot you out. Okay, let's run with that. Okay, first of all, it's common knowledge that the shortest distance between any two given objects is a straight line. Now, you're going to spend 48 hours using up gas and rocket fuel to keep that ship from being sucked back into Earth's atmosphere while it orbits and prepares to slingshot into space, when it could just straight shot and use that same amount of fuel to project itself forward, getting the same momentum that you are arguing would be achieved by slingshotting around the moon. Okay, you're using the same amount of gas, but it'd be 48 hours off the clock. So tell me where it makes sense to spend gas keeping yourself from being sucked back into the upper atmosphere of the Earth just to slingshot around the Earth towards the moon, instead of just straight shotting it and using that same gas to propel and get the same momentum. Okay, you're going to tell me I don't know fucking physics? Okay, this is basic common sense. A fucking 5-year-old could figure this shit out. Come on. Now, we can sit there and argue, oh, well, we got to line up the timing with where the moon's going to be and where the Earth's going to be. Okay, great. We can calculate that on a piece of paper on the Earth. We can calculate that on a goddamn cell phone. Okay? You can sit there and punch into Gemini. Hey, Gemini. Hey, Siri. Hey, Grok. Hey, Skynet. Where's the moon going to be at such and such a time? Where does the moon need to be for me to launch a rocket and straight shot to the moon? Okay, do the math for me to where I can straight shot from where I am right now to the fucking moon. Okay? The AI can do it. Hell, a human being could fucking calculate that shit. Basic. It's fucking basic. Okay, that's fucking 6th grade math right there. You're going to sit there and tell me that you need a slingshot around the moon or around the Earth again and again and again just to get momentum and line up your timing to go to the moon? Come on. Again, simple solutions. Now, let's look at technology. Technology has greatly advanced since 1969. And granted, there were a lot of issues with the Apollo launches. You know, we all know our history. We all know what happened with the Apollos. But we've come a long way technologically since then. And even if we lost the technology that got us to the moon the first time around, the advent of new and improved technologies far surpasses anything we had back then. Okay, this isn't our first rodeo. And the only reason we stopped back then was because Russia gave up on the space race. We no longer had a point to prove. We allegedly did it, whether you believe the moon landing happened or not. Okay? We claimed victory in that space race. So, mission accomplished. It's done. Okay? But the whole notion of having lost that technology really lends credence to the idea, to the arguments of the flat earth community. And I'm not saying that I agree with flat earth. But what I am saying is it doesn't help NASA's argument against flat earth and these other arguments when you say that you lost the technology to the greatest human achievement of all time and the cornerstone of your organization. I mean, come on. And on that note, in terms of technology advancement, whether we're upgrading the old technology or just adventing new technology, you can argue that this whole 10-day mission is testing the waters, testing the equipment, making sure everything works and isn't going to break down. Okay, well, that's all well and great. But here's the thing. Just because you drive your car today doesn't mean that you don't stand an equal chance of getting a flat tire tomorrow. Okay? Something that works today could just as easily break tomorrow. It happens all the time. I had some equipment that I was testing a few years ago, an SCBA, an oxygen tank system. And we went to turn it off, or we went to turn it on and test the equipment, make sure everything was working. The damn tank shot off and shot me in the air about 2 feet. Yeah. And we test that equipment regularly. But hey, shit happens. Okay? So just because you spend 10 days testing the equipment in space doesn't mean it's going to work the next time around. It doesn't mean that that something can't go wrong the next time around. Yeah, you want to make sure that it doesn't. But you don't need to spend billions of dollars of taxpayer money to do it. You can test the same equipment. You can create the same conditions on Earth as in outer space. We do it all the time. Free floating. NASA has shown all the equipment that they use to test spacewalks, G-force, just everything you can imagine that you're going to run into in space. They have a way to simulate it here on Earth. You don't need to go into space and waste several $billion just for a product test. Okay? So for me to ask, is there going to be more to this than just testing the equipment? I would certainly hope so. Okay? I hope we're going to get some readings back to where we can do this launch more efficiently. I want to know that they're going to scout a good landing site to land on the back of the moon and a good place to where they could build this launch point on the dark side of the moon. Okay? I want this to be more than just a $7 billion joyride. Okay? And I don't think that I'm in the wrong for wanting that. Okay? If my tax dollars are going to go to something, I want to get the most out of it that I fucking can. I don't want just a flyby joyride for 10 days. Okay? I want the most that you can give me out of this endeavor. Okay? Even if you can't land on the fucking moon, give me the most that you can do with this project. If I am investing several $billion of my tax money as one of hundreds of thousands and millions of American people who pay their taxes, then I want to get the most out of this project. I want them to do the absolute most that they can do in this endeavor. And to want that and to insist on that, I'm being attacked. Again, I have no problem being attacked, but I'm going to point out the flaws in your logic. Now, another flaw with circling around the moon is circumnavigating all of the debris. Okay, how many satellites, new and non-functional, do we have just floating up there? It's a fucking junkyard up there, allegedly. Okay, and you're telling me that we got to send a space shuttle orbiting the Earth not once, but twice, using gas to circumnavigate around all of this space junk and all of this debris that we put up there since we first launched. That's a lot of gas, guys. That's a lot of rocket fuel. Okay? Now, you can say that's a good opportunity to test navigational systems. Okay, I'll give you that. But that's a bitch. I can't even begin to imagine how much garbage is up there. And that's if you believe we actually went up there. Again, you got all these arguments of electrical lines and communication lines running all through the ocean, and all of our satellite imagery is drones and weather balloons and shit, which is totally feasible. And there's a lot of arguments to support that this technology does exist. And is despite alleged satellites that are allegedly in place to do those same jobs. So arguably, why do the two coexist? Why are there electrical lines and communication lines running underground and through the ocean floor doing the same job that satellites do? And why does NASA have such a vested interest, despite being a space exploration program? Why did they focus their attention to underwater and ocean exploration? Okay? Again, with the argument of, we lost the technology to land on the moon, it makes people wonder if maybe NASA was full of shit and are now just trying to save face. Okay? And if in the event that we didn't go to the moon the first time around and we were just being bullshitted, where was all that money really going? Okay? That's a big question that needs to be asked. If the moon landing was faked just for this, I'm not saying that the Earth is flat or that we've never been to space, but let's say, for the sake of argument, that the moon landing was faked so that we could fake the win against Russia. We couldn't pull it off initially, so we faked it to fake the win against Russia and to get them to fucking bow out of the space race. And allow us room to breathe and figure shit out and eventually get up there. Okay? Now, where did that money go? Where did all that money go after the fact? If we never went to the moon and we just faked it and then stopped going, or telling people we went, where did all that money go? And they've been collecting billions of dollars per year for decades. Where's all that money been going? Okay. Yeah, you had a lot of the space exploration in the 80s and 90s, just putting satellites up. But even that didn't cost the amount of money that they've been getting. So where's all that money been going? Again, questions nobody really wants to answer. And I think that's why I'm getting a lot of heat, because comments like this raise a lot of questions and prompt people to ask, okay, well, where's my money really going? Why can't we do this better? Why are we doing the same things that we did in 1969 in 2026? Whatever, if that technology was lost, how was it lost? How did that agency that we trust astronauts' lives to suddenly lose the technology to the greatest human achievement on the planet and the cornerstone of their organization? What were they doing with all that money when they weren't putting stuff into space? Did they really land a rover on Mars and take pictures of Mars, or was that faked too? Okay, so many things get brought into question when you point out flaws in proposed logic. And then you get people like me who dare to question and to get attacked. Why? That's the next question we need to ask, ladies and gentlemen. Why do we attack people who dare to ask questions, who dare to think outside the box, who dare to question the official narrative and demand better or demand a simple explanation? Why are people who are capable of critical thinking attacked? Einstein, and we got motherfuckers sitting there saying, oh, you can't spell this, you're an idiot. Oh, look, it's a retard. Einstein, one of the greatest scientific minds of any given modern history, couldn't even do basic math. He struggled with basic mathematics, and yet is hailed as one of the greatest scientific minds of the modern age. And you're going to fault me for a grammatical error while typing on a cell phone? Suck my dick backwards and buy me a fucking milkshake. Man. Not my fault you're not capable of critical thinking. And at which point I dare to ask why. Why are you either not capable or are you just afraid? Are you afraid to question the big bad government? Are you afraid to question and point out that Elon Musk could do something in a few weeks that NASA is struggling to do in several years? Okay. NASA's been in the game since the 1960s. Elon Musk only just recently got into it, and he accomplished rescuing those people up on that space station in a matter of weeks. When NASA argued they didn't even have the technology to do it, let alone begin prep for doing it. And yet, nobody wants to point this out. Nobody wants to point out that the shortest distance between any two given objects is a straight line, or that you can use the same amount of gas to propel yourself forward than it would be to circumvent around the Earth twice to slingshot into space? Using the same amount, if not less gas? And does nobody dare to question why now? Of all the times to be doing this type of shit, when we were engaged in an armed conflict with one of the biggest oil distributors on the planet, okay, and gas prices and just oil in general are what, $130 a barrel now or something like that? What is the number? I'm gonna look that up. I want the exact number. I want the goddamn answer. What is the current price per barrel of oil? Okay. Okay, as of April 2nd, 2026, oil prices are trading above $100 per barrel, with WTI crude at approximately $112.06 and Brent crude around $109 to $111 per barrel. Okay, that's a lot of money. And you figure how much rocket fuel it takes to send a projectile into space? That's a lot of crude. And that's a lot of money. Okay? And where resources are being strapped to where gas prices are skyrocketing through the roof, and gas and oil is over $100 per barrel, and that's probably being generous. It's probably more close to 130 per barrel. When would you think this is a good time to do this shit? Okay? Like, seriously. I at least hope they bought the gas when it was fucking cheap, instead of buying it last week. Like, seriously. And you figure there's going to be more launches down the line. And if this conflict isn't brought to a halt, that gas is going to be pretty expensive. And you and me, Mr. and Mrs. Taxpayer, are going to be footing the fucking bill for that shit. Okay? Trump says he can't pay for Medicare and Medicaid and daycare, that the government can't pay for that. But yet it can pay for this? Kind of ill-timed, guys. Ill-timed. So again, how can we get mad for somebody pointing this out? It makes no logical sense. And again, you got to ask right now, why now? Is this to save face? Or is this on account of the whole UFO file thing coming out and all that nonsense? And Trump saying, you know, we need to up Space Force and all the arguments that we need to be ready for an alien threat. I'm sorry, but if aliens do exist and we're going to invade this miserable little fucking dirtball, don't you think that they would have done so and enslaved our asses long before the Industrial Revolution? Okay? Scientists and governments argue that we've been on this earth for what, about 100,000 years? Christians argue 6,000 years. the Industrial Revolution didn't happen until the late 1800s, early 1900s. And yet aliens want to wait till now to invade us, even though they've allegedly been here all along and could have easily taken hold on this planet at any point in time in human history. But yet they're waiting until now. Why? What the hell were they waiting for? A fair fight? I mean, what the fuck? Again, it's kind of a stupid argument here. I don't know that I really buy into this. I'm kind of more leaning towards what J.D. Vance says and saying that aliens are essentially demons. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. My whole thing here is why now? What makes this week, this day, this moment more important than any other fucking day on this planet? That we have to go to the moon and start doing these tests now. And at which point, why not just use Musk's technology? Why are we allowing NASA to spend billions of dollars to do in years what Elon Musk and his tech have demonstrated they can do in a matter of weeks? Again, why the waste of taxpayer money? Okay, and whether you like Elon Musk or not, I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of his pursuit of AI. After he said that that AI development was like summoning the demon and then turning around and developing AI. I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of Elon Musk in that regards. And I'm definitely not a fan of e-vehicles. So I can't say that I'm sitting here tongue punching Elon Musk's fart box. But I can acknowledge an achievement where there is an achievement. And Elon Musk did in a matter of weeks what NASA said they couldn't do. And what is now allegedly going to take them years to do, to even attempt to surpass. They don't even know if they can actually do it yet. But yet, your biggest competitor is now the inventor of PayPal. Seriously. I mean, is this just trying to save face in light of a recent embarrassment? Is it just trying to dispel the argument that NASA has become a waste of taxpayer money? Is there an alien threat? And regardless of what the answer is to any of these given questions, how dare I not ask? People want to jump my shit and give me crap for having asked these questions. Even to the point that it is still going on. Look at this. 14 more comments. Okay, so it continues on. It continues on. But yet, you notice, despite my having shared the video, because I did share the video, I don't know why my shit's not loading today, motherfucker. Scroll down to replies here. Show you I'm not bullshitting. Okay, there it is. Okay, reposted. Okay, it's right there. We're looking at it in real time, guys. Okay. So many people want to talk shit. Come and talk to me. I'm sitting right here. Got something to say? Let's talk. Let's have an intellectual conversation. See, don't. I shared the live feed. It's playing in real time. Again, I'll pull it back up. I showed the wrong thing, but here it is. Link shared in real time. 80 people have seen this. 80 people have seen it. But yet, despite 80 people having seen it and countless responses on one little post, nobody pops into the comment section to share their thoughts and opinions and debate and push their point. Why? Okay, why be a bunch of keyboard jockeys? Okay, are we afraid of an intellectual conversation? Are we legitimately that afraid of critical thinking? What has happened to us as a society that we hide behind our keyboards and do not dare to question the official narrative and get mad at others who dare to question it? Explain to me how we as a society have become so dumbed down and so complacent and so cowardice that we hide behind keyboards and talk shit to anybody who dares to question the official narrative, rather than sitting here when that person gives an open invitation to have a thought-provoking discussion. Please tell me. Comments are open. Now, I'm not opposed to space travel. I'm not opposed to NASA doing what they do and going forward and exploring the final frontier. What I have a problem with is things that don't add up and things that look highly suspect and things that prompt me to question the official narrative. That is where I have my problem, ladies and gentlemen. And given that nobody wants to engage in the conversation, just wants to post on social media and talk shit, I guess just go ahead and talk shit. This video is here. It'll stay in the comments section. It'll stay on my feed, on all of my social medias, X, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. It'll all be there. It ain't going nowhere. If anybody wants to engage in a conversation, feel free to carry on after the fact. Refute any of the points that I've made, please. If I'm wrong in something, please correct me. I don't pretend to be the smartest man in the world. I don't have all the answers. If I did, I forgot. Okay? Only a fool professes to be a wise man, where a true wise man will admit that he himself is a fool. Okay? I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything about everything. I'm not omniscient. Okay? There are plenty of things I do know in this world. And there are plenty more things that I don't. But I know what I know. And I know when things don't add up. And I know when things look suspect. And I know when to question and go, okay, why now? Why this way? Why that way? Why not do this? Give me answers to my questions and concerns. And so few people do that anymore. Why? Because they get ridiculed. Man, I don't care. Hey, you give me a fucking boner doing that shit. Okay? Kind of a shame. Most of these people sound like the kind of motherfucker that a fucking dude in the ass and not even have the kind of courtesy to give him a reach around. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. So, I guess the only place left to go is to leave it in everybody else's hands. People want to talk shit on my social medias? Okay, talk your shit. Don't bother me. Hey, you want to engage in a conversation? Come on when I'm live, or just continue the conversation after I've logged off. Okay, I'm about an hour into this motherfucker right now. And I've pretty much said my piece. So again, if you disagree with me, feel free to come on and refute my points. Tell me where I'm wrong. Let's have an actual intellectual conversation. Okay? Don't sit there and talk shit like a little bitch. Let's have an intellectual conversation. Let's pick each other's brains. Okay? Show me what you know. Educate me. Challenge my perceptions of reality as I try to challenge yours. Okay? Let's have an open-minded, open discussion and grow and learn and shatter the norms and our misguided perceptions of what we think is and is not. And on that note, if you enjoyed this broadcast, share the retransmissions, follow us on our various social medias, X, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. And as always, check out our online store. Tons of great merchandise there, all at REALTWWRN.printify.me. And I guarantee you, probably the lowest damn prices you're ever going to find around. Most people, most of these major broadcasters and activists out there, they'll put their merch up on sale, marked down to $16 for like a 24-hour sale. I give you straight up low prices for the duration of the time the product's up, if the product ever comes down at all. Whereas, again, most people will just give you like a 24-hour sale, and then the prices go back up to 30 to 45 bucks, whatever they're charging. Most of my shirts, $22.99. Hats, $26.99. Stickers, like $9 to $13 for a pack of stickers. Posters, $9. Okay? You don't even find posters that cheap at Walmart anymore. And I guarantee you ain't got to find posters like mine. And I've got so much more to come. So much more in my brain that I'm just scooping out, and bringing your way. So again, check out the online store, TINMAN.printify.me. And again, follow us on our social medias. And on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe buttons and that notification bell to be notified anytime we go live. We go live generally Wednesdays and Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. And even if you go offline, keep the conversation going. Keep the thoughts coming. Because we are the Worldwide Resistance Network. Not because of me, but because of you. We are of the people, by the people, for the people. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, I'm Chris Sheldon. This has been TINMAN TV, brought to you by the Worldwide Resistance Network. If you are watching this, whether you like me, or hate me, or troll me, or support me, and what I say, you are the resistance. Take care. Stay strong. Until next time, God bless you all. Peace.